I've always prided myself on living a carefully structured, predictable life. I maintained a steady routine, waking up early for a brisk run, working long hours at my job in a mid-sized firm, and returning to my small but comfortable apartment where I immersed myself in books or quiet television shows. On the surface, everything appeared perfectly ordinary. But beneath that placid veneer, I harbored a secret, one that I had long buried under layers of responsibility and caution. I had once yearned for adventure, for moments of passion that could shatter the monotony of everyday existence, but as time passed, that desire became a faint echo in my memory. I had learned to ignore it, to settle into the safety of routine. Then one cool, gray afternoon, while I was sorting through my notifications on my phone, I noticed something utterly out of place, a misplaced alert that jolted me from my habitual indifference. The notification read, "Exclusive spa experience booked. Indulge in lavish treatments today." At first, I assumed it was an error, perhaps a marketing message or an accidental reminder from an app one rarely used. But as I tapped on it, I discovered details that were far too specific to be mere promotional fluff. The alert detailed an appointment for a full-day spa session at an ultra-luxurious establishment, complete with promises of signature massages, aromatic facials, and an exclusive treatment package that cost more than I'd ever allowed myself to spend. The timestamp indicated it was scheduled for later that afternoon, just hours away from the moment I saw it. I froze, my heart beginning to race with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. I recalled that I hadn't booked any spa session. In fact, I prided myself on being frugal with indulgences. I rarely allowed myself such luxuries. The mere thought of a lavish spa day had always seemed like an indulgence reserved for someone else, someone daring enough to live on the wild side. And yet, here was an email confirmation in my inbox, its subject line promising indulgence beyond compare. I reread the message over and over, my eyes scanning the details, the name of the spa, Serenity Luxe Spa, the time of the appointment, and even a small digital receipt for the payment. It was all there, meticulously formatted, as if every detail had been planned. But the more I examined it, the more I began to feel a disquieting certainty that this was not an error at all. Somehow, a part of me, one that I had long tried to suppress, recognized this as a sign. For reasons I couldn't immediately articulate, my thoughts raced back to long-forgotten nights filled with whispered plans and secret getaways. I remembered a time when I had allowed myself to be spontaneous, when I had snuck away from the constraints of my daily life to experience fleeting moments of romance and luxury. Those memories were hazy, almost dreamlike, but the misplaced notification seemed to rekindle that dormant fire inside me. Was it possible that my subconscious had orchestrated this entire scenario? Had I, somewhere deep within, arranged for a lavish spa day as a precursor to something much more daring? Unable to shake the growing sense of destiny, I hesitated only a moment before replying to the confirmation email. My fingers hovered over the confirm button, and then, almost as if in a trance, I clicked it. The screen flashed, and a follow-up notification appeared. Your spa session is confirmed. Additional details, complimentary shuttle to Serenity Luxe Spa at 3 p.m. Enjoy your indulgence. I stared at the message, a mixture of exhilaration and disbelief churning within me. I had not made any such reservation, yet there it was, an undeniable record of an event I hadn't consciously arranged. That afternoon, I found myself pacing near my apartment window, watching the drizzle paint the city in muted watercolors. I sipped a lukewarm cup of tea as I tried to process the situation. Had someone hacked my account? Was this some elaborate prank? My rational mind struggled to dismiss the possibility, but deep down, a curious part of me was already dreaming of escape. I recalled a period in my life when I'd spent restless nights imagining a world of unrestrained passion and clandestine luxury, an existence where I could step out of my drab routine and into a realm where every sensation was heightened. The idea was both intoxicating and terrifying. Compelled to find answers, I began by retracing my steps digitally. I searched my email history for clues, scrolled through old receipts, and even checked my bank statements. Every record confirmed that the payment had indeed been made, an amount that far exceeded my usual expenses. I discovered that the charge was processed under a name that wasn't mine but a pseudonym I'd once used during a brief, reckless period of rebellion. The realization hit me like a freight train. For reasons I couldn't fully comprehend, my hidden desires had resurfaced, and now they were being documented for all to see. The misplaced notification had inadvertently exposed secret plans for something much larger than a simple spa session. By early evening, a plan began to form in my mind, a daring, if not reckless, idea. I decided to follow the trail. If this lavish spa day was indeed meant as a prelude, then perhaps there was more orchestrated in secret than I had ever allowed myself to believe. I dug deeper into the email, scanning for additional details. Tucked away near the bottom of the message was a subtle note: "For those ready to embrace the night, your journey continues beyond Serenity Luxe Spa." My pulse quickened as I realized that this was not the end of the story, but merely the beginning. I decided to proceed with the appointment, not out of blind acceptance, but as a way to gather more information. With a deep breath and a heart pounding with a cocktail of anticipation and anxiety, I left my apartment and headed toward the address listed in the notification. I dressed carefully, choosing an outfit that balanced sophistication with a hint of daring: a soft, cream-colored blouse paired with tailored black trousers, and a pair of sleek ankle boots that made me feel both grounded and elegant. I applied a light layer of perfume, one I remembered from a time when I dared to be bold. The ride to Serenity Luxe Spa was surreal. The city, usually a place of predictable routines, now seemed transformed into a landscape of possibility. Rain glistened on the asphalt as I took a taxi through winding streets, each turn and every red light adding to the mounting anticipation. In the taxi's rearview mirror, I caught a glimpse of myself, a reflection of a woman who was on the verge of rediscovering a hidden, more passionate self. Arriving at the spa, I was immediately struck by its opulent facade, a modern glass structure framed by carefully landscaped gardens, soft lighting, and a serene fountain at the entrance. The lobby was quiet and refined, with subtle music and the gentle murmur of voices that conveyed exclusivity and discretion. I checked in at the reception desk, where a courteous attendant confirmed my booking with an understated nod. "Welcome to Serenity Luxe Spa," she said softly. "Your appointment is scheduled to begin at 3:30 p.m. Please enjoy the complimentary shuttle if you'd like." Her tone was warm yet professional, and it lent an air of legitimacy to the entire affair. Inside the spa, I was led through a series of tranquil corridors adorned with soft, ambient lighting, plush furnishings, and art that evoked a sense of timeless calm. The air was perfumed with a delicate blend of lavender and sandalwood, a scent that seemed designed to lull one into a state of blissful relaxation. I was ushered into a private treatment room where a gentle masseuse, whose eyes held a quiet wisdom, greeted me with a serene smile. "Please, make yourself comfortable," she said as she dimmed the lights and began to prepare the room for the session. For the next few hours, I surrendered to the carefully choreographed treatments, the delicate touch of skilled hands easing the tension from my muscles, the warmth of aromatic oils seeping into my skin, and the quiet symphony of soothing music that filled the room. As I lay there, a deep relaxation enveloping me, my mind began to wander. I couldn't help but think about the cryptic note at the end of the email: "For those ready to embrace the night, your journey continues beyond Serenity Luxe Spa." The massage, while deeply comforting, was also a space where my thoughts meandered toward possibilities. What awaited me after this moment of indulgence? Was it another carefully planned escape? A midnight rendezvous that promised to shatter the boundaries of my familiar existence? I emerged from the treatment feeling both physically rejuvenated and emotionally stirred. The experience was unlike anything I had expected. It was as if, for a brief time, the carefully constructed walls of my guarded life had been softened, allowing a glimpse of something raw and essential to shine through. I left the spa with a lingering sense of curiosity and a subtle, almost imperceptible thrill. The day's events had set in motion a series of revelations that I knew would change the course of my life. Later that evening, after returning home and attempting to process the unfolding mystery, I received another notification on my phone. This one was even more cryptic than the first: "Midnight escape confirmed, private hotel rendezvous at the Nocturne Suites. Details to follow." My heart skipped a beat. It was as if the universe was orchestrating a seamless sequence of events, guiding me deeper into a world that I had once only dared to imagine in fleeting dreams. The notion of a midnight hotel escape, an invitation to step beyond the safe confines of my everyday life into a realm of clandestine luxury and romance, was both thrilling and terrifying. I spent the rest of the evening in a whirlwind of anticipation and introspection. Every moment felt charged with meaning. The shadows in my apartment whispered secrets, and the soft hum of the city outside seemed to murmur promises of hidden delights. I opened my journal and began to write feverishly, attempting to capture the tumultuous mix of fear, excitement, and longing that now consumed me. I wrote of the misplaced notification, of the lavish spa session that had unlocked memories of past escapades, and of the secret rendezvous that beckoned me into the unknown. Each word was a confession, a testament to the part of me that had yearned to break free, to embrace a life filled with both elegance and risk. The hours ticked by slowly as I mulled over the new alert. I knew that the midnight hotel escape was imminent, the confirmation suggested that the rendezvous at the Nocturne Suites was scheduled for a short while after the clock struck midnight. Torn between caution and a fierce, unyielding desire to reclaim a hidden part of myself, I made the decision. I would follow the trail, no matter how perilous or unexpected the path might be. As midnight approached, I felt the familiar surge of adrenaline that had, in the past, propelled me into the dark hours of secret indulgence. I dressed quickly, choosing an outfit that blended practicality with a touch of daring, a form-fitting black jumpsuit with subtle, shimmering accents, paired with comfortable yet stylish boots. I applied a light touch of makeup that enhanced my features without obscuring them, and I took one last deep breath before locking my apartment door behind me. Stepping out into the night, I was immediately struck by the transformation of the city. Under the cloak of darkness, familiar streets seemed imbued with a mysterious allure. The lights of passing cars and neon signs blurred into a tapestry of possibility, each reflection a reminder that tonight, I was venturing into a world that few ever saw. I hailed a taxi and directed the driver to the Nocturne Suites, a name that, by now, had become synonymous with the secret escape that had been unfolding through a series of cryptic alerts. The taxi ride felt like a journey into another dimension. The city's skyline loomed large, its lights like scattered stars that held untold stories of those who dared to live in the margins. I watched silently as the urban landscape gave way to quieter, more secluded areas, a part of the city where luxury and mystery intertwined in unexpected ways. My mind raced with possibilities. What awaited me at the Nocturne Suites? Would I finally confront the hidden desires that had defined my secret life? When the taxi finally pulled up in front of a grand, imposing building with an understated elegance, I knew I had arrived. The Nocturne Suite stood like a modern palace, its facade a blend of glass, steel, and subtle ornamentation that whispered of exclusivity and discretion. I paid the driver and stepped out, my heart pounding as I approached the entrance. A doorman greeted me with a respectful nod and directed me toward the private check-in area. Inside, the lobby of the Nocturne Suites was hushed and refined, an oasis of calm in the nocturnal city. Soft lighting, marble floors, and elegant furnishings combined to create an atmosphere of discreet luxury. I was led to a private reception desk where I was asked to confirm my booking. Though I had not made the reservation myself, every detail on the confirmation matched the alert I had received. With a sense of quiet resignation mingled with anticipation, I signed in and was handed a key card along with a small envelope. The envelope, sealed in dark wax and bearing an embossed emblem, contained a handwritten note. In flowing script, it read, "Dear Seeker, tonight, your hidden desires shall find solace in the embrace of the nocturne. Follow the clues, trust your heart, and let the night reveal its secrets. E." The note resonated with an almost hypnotic intensity. Who was E? What secret plans had been set in motion on my behalf? The message was both a challenge and an invitation, a call to step further into a realm of clandestine luxury and uncharted romance. With the key card in hand and the note pressed against my heart, I took the elevator up to my designated suite. The corridor leading to the room was silent, lined with polished wood and softly glowing sconces that cast gentle shadows. I paused before the door marked with my room number, 137, and, with a trembling hand, swiped the key card. The door swung open silently to reveal a room that was the epitome of modern luxury. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed a breathtaking view of the city's glittering lights, while the interior was furnished with elegant, contemporary decor, a tasteful blend of plush fabrics, artful lighting, and subtle nods to classic design. In one corner of the room stood a small writing desk, upon which lay a single rose in a delicate glass vase and a final note, written in a hand that was both familiar and mysterious. Your journey does not end here. Embrace the night, for it holds the power to transform you. E. I sank onto the edge of the bed, overwhelmed by a flood of emotions. The series of events, from the misplaced spa notification to this secret midnight hotel escape, had unspooled a tapestry of hidden passions and long-suppressed dreams. I began to write in my journal, detailing every sensation, every memory that the night had evoked. My pen moved quickly as I chronicled the surge of liberation I felt, the bittersweet recognition of a part of myself that had been buried beneath years of cautious conformity. In those quiet, solitary moments, I realized that I was standing at a crossroads. The clandestine journey I had been inadvertently thrust into was not merely an escape from the mundane, it was an opportunity to reclaim the vibrant, passionate self that I had long neglected. The hidden app alerts, the lavish spa session, and now the secret hotel rendezvous were all pieces of a puzzle that I was only beginning to comprehend. They were invitations to live boldly, to embrace both the light and the darkness within me, and to rewrite the narrative of my life with honesty and unapologetic desire. As I sat there in the soft glow of my suite, I made a silent promise to myself. I vowed to explore every facet of this hidden world, to seek out the elegant dinners, the secret getaways, and the whispered romances that had once stirred my soul. I resolved that no longer would I hide from the part of me that yearned for a life of passion and elegance. Instead, I would integrate it into my everyday existence, transforming my days with the spark of those stolen nights. Even as the first hints of dawn began to filter through the curtains, I knew that my journey was far from over. The note from me and the experiences of the night had ignited a fire within me, a desire to step fully into a realm where every moment was an opportunity for transformation, where every secret encounter was a step toward reclaiming my true self. With the promise of a new day on the horizon, I closed my journal and took one last, deep breath. I felt the exhilaration of the unknown mingled with a quiet determination, a resolve to continue this journey, to embrace the elegance, romance, and hidden passions that had awakened within me. I knew that as I stepped out into the world that morning, nothing would ever be the same again. The secret rendezvous at the Nocturne Suites had opened a door to a life I had long dared not imagine, a life where luxury and intimacy, the hidden and the seen, merged into a singular, transformative experience. And though uncertainties still loomed large, I was ready to face them head-on, armed with the knowledge that every moment, every secret alert, was a reminder that I was alive in ways I had only ever dreamed of. I left the lounge under a sky heavy with the promise of dawn, the city's neon glow still dancing in my eyes as I stepped back into the cool embrace of the night. My heart was pounding, not just from the thrill of that exquisite rendezvous, but from the overwhelming realization that I had been living a secret life that, until now, I had never truly acknowledged. Every moment of that evening had been a revelation, a tapestry woven from soft laughter, whispered confessions, and delicate touches that evoked both passion and pain. As I climbed into a waiting taxi, I felt as if I were straddling two worlds, the safe, predictable life I had always known and the hidden, dangerous realm of luxurious indulgence that had just reawakened something inside me. During the drive home, my mind churned with memories. I recalled the elegance of the lounge's decor, the plush velvet chairs, the shimmering chandeliers, and the gentle strains of live piano that had serenaded us in a hush of intimacy. I remembered Alexander's eyes, warm and knowing, and the way his presence had reassured me even as it stirred a longing I had tried so hard to suppress. In that shared silence between our words, I sensed that I was not alone in my desire for something beyond the ordinary. Others, too, had ventured into that secret realm of midnight rendezvous, each with their own story of longing and liberation. Back in the solitude of my apartment, I sat by the window and stared at the faint glow of the city below. The events of the night played over in my mind like a delicate film. The series of hidden app alerts that had first lured me into this clandestine world, the subtle thrill of accepting an invitation that defied my meticulously guarded routine, and the magic of that high-end lounge that had revealed a side of me I'd long kept locked away. I reached for my journal, its pages now a sanctuary for my raw, unfiltered thoughts. I wrote feverishly, capturing every detail, the trembling of my hands as I clicked accept, the intoxicating blend of fear and desire that had surged through me as I stepped into the lounge, and the bittersweet afterglow of a secret encounter that promised both escape and transformation. In the days that followed, I felt as though I were caught in a liminal space, a strange, in-between existence where the boundaries of my former life blurred with the seductive allure of the unknown. I began to retrace the steps of that transformative night. I revisited the quiet streets that had led me to the lounge, and I found myself pausing in front of familiar landmarks with new eyes. Every whispered echo of the past now carried the potential for revelation. I even went back to the neighborhood where the lounge was hidden, speaking in hushed tones with discreet locals who seemed to understand the unspoken language of those who danced on the edge of convention. One overcast afternoon, I decided to meet with an old friend, Cecilia, someone who had always sensed that there was more to me than the safe, measured life I presented to the world. Over coffee in a tucked-away cafe, I recounted the events of that night, my voice trembling with both excitement and vulnerability. Cecilia listened intently, her eyes reflecting a mix of concern and quiet awe. "It sounds like you've been living two lives," she murmured, choosing her words with care. "Perhaps the part of you that seeks these secret encounters is the very part that's been waiting for freedom." Her words, gentle yet piercing, confirmed what I had begun to suspect. The hidden app alerts were not random, they were the call of a long-dormant self, a self that craved the thrill of passion, the intimacy of shared secrets, and the exquisite taste of luxury that had always eluded me. Cecilia's encouragement spurred me to delve even deeper into this duality. I started combing through my digital records, emails, messages, even old bank statements, to piece together the timeline of my secret escapades. I discovered patterns, precise timestamps that coincided with the moments I'd felt an inexplicable pull to vanish into the night, locations that reappeared, cloaked in anonymity, where I had once immersed myself in sumptuous experiences, and a series of discrete notifications that charted a map of my hidden desires. Each discovery was both an affirmation of who I had been and a call to confront who I might still become. I was forced to reckon with the painful truth that I had, for years, suppressed a part of my identity, the part that relished indulgence, romance, and the risk of the unknown. One particular evening, as the autumn winds began to chill the air, I decided to act on this burgeoning desire for self-discovery. With a mix of apprehension and determination, I set out for a new rendezvous that the app had alerted me to, this time, a private dinner at an upscale bistro known only to a select circle. The invitation was as cryptic as the others. Tonight, let elegance and passion converge at Le Noir. Your table awaits. I prepared with a deliberate sense of purpose, choosing an outfit that was both daring and refined, a tailored navy dress, delicate silver jewelry, and an understated smile that belied the storm of emotions within me. The bistro, Le Noir, was hidden away on a narrow, cobblestone street, its entrance unassuming yet exuding a quiet magnetism. As I stepped inside, I was greeted by the soft glow of candlelight and the subdued murmur of refined conversation. The decor was intimate, a blend of vintage charm and modern sophistication, and every detail, from the meticulously arranged table settings to the gentle strains of live jazz, whispered of secret indulgence. I was led to a private table in a secluded corner, away from prying eyes, where I could savor both the sumptuous meal and the knowledge that I was once again stepping into that hidden world of midnight rendezvous. Throughout the dinner, my mind oscillated between the present and the echoes of that first transformative night. I recalled the thrill of the high-end lounge, the way the ambient lighting had softened my apprehensions, the way the music had stirred emotions I had long thought dead. Each course of the dinner was a sensory journey, a delicate balance of flavors and textures that seemed to mirror the complexity of my own inner life. And as I sipped a velvety red wine, I found myself engaging in subtle, yet profound, exchanges with a fellow diner whose eyes held a quiet, knowing light. His name was Mark, and his presence was both comforting and challenging. In our soft-spoken conversation, Mark recounted his own path of rediscovery, a tale of breaking free from the confines of a stifling routine to embrace a life filled with art, passion, and even risk. His words, gentle and sincere, resonated deeply within me. We all carry a hidden spark, he said quietly, a desire to live a life that is as vibrant as it is real. Sometimes, it takes the courage to step into the night to ignite that spark again. By the end of the dinner, I felt an unmistakable shift in my perspective. The luxurious experiences that had once felt like clandestine escapes were now emerging as essential expressions of who I truly was, a tapestry woven from both the light of day and the seductive shadows of the night. I realized that the hidden app alerts, the secret rendezvous, and every carefully orchestrated encounter were not anomalies to be hidden away or denied. They were integral chapters of my story, waiting to be embraced and integrated into my everyday life. After bidding farewell to Mark and the other discreet guests of Le Noir, I stepped out into the cool night once more. The city, with its labyrinth of shimmering lights and silent promises, seemed to welcome me as an equal, a kindred spirit who had dared to pursue the hidden truths of desire. I hailed a taxi and, as the car merged into the gentle flow of midnight traffic, I allowed myself to reflect on the journey so far. I recalled the misplaced spa notification that had first exposed secret plans for a midnight escape, the clandestine rendezvous at the high-end lounge that had awakened my suppressed passions, and the elegant dinner that had reaffirmed my right to embrace every facet of my identity. Sitting in the quiet solitude of that taxi ride, I made a silent vow. I would no longer let fear dictate the terms of my existence. I would celebrate the hidden parts of myself, the indulgent, passionate, unapologetic self, and I would integrate those experiences into the life I presented in the light of day. The duality that had once tormented me was now a wellspring of strength, a reservoir of experiences that made me uniquely, beautifully whole. In the days that followed, I took deliberate steps to bridge the gap between my nocturnal adventures and my daytime reality. I began to incorporate small, bold acts of self-expression into my daily routine, a vibrant scarf that reminded me of the opulent textures of the lounge, spontaneous visits to art galleries that evoked the creative fervor of midnight musings, and even candid conversations with friends about the hidden dreams we all shared. I found that by honoring the secret parts of myself, I could approach the world with a renewed sense of confidence and purpose. Yet, the journey was not without its challenges. There were moments of introspection when I questioned whether the path I had chosen was sustainable, if the thrill of the hidden rendezvous could ever truly harmonize with the responsibilities of a conventional life. I grappled with bouts of guilt and uncertainty, wondering if the allure of nocturnal escapades was merely a temporary rebellion or if it signified something deeper, a fundamental need to break free from the confines of a life that had grown too safe, too predictable. In those moments, I turned to my journal once more, pouring out my doubts and desires in long, unfiltered entries that spanned pages and pages. With every stroke of the pen, I reclaimed a piece of myself that I had long kept hidden away, acknowledging that true transformation was a journey marked by both vulnerability and courage. One particular evening stands out as a turning point in my journey. It was a chilly night when I attended an exclusive after-hours gathering at a discreet venue known only to a select few. The event was a celebration of hidden passions, a midnight gala where art, music, and clandestine romance converged in a heady, intoxicating blend. I arrived in a state of nervous anticipation, dressed in an outfit that spoke of quiet confidence and understated elegance, a deep, sapphire gown paired with delicate silver accents. The venue was a transformed warehouse, its industrial past softened by carefully curated decor, gentle lighting, and the soft, alluring strains of live music. Throughout the night, I mingled with individuals whose eyes held stories of secret lives and unspoken dreams. There was an effortless intimacy in the way conversations flowed, as if everyone present understood the price of living fully and the courage it takes to reveal one's hidden self. I reconnected with familiar faces, those I had met at previous clandestine dinners and exclusive lounges, and forged new bonds with others who, like me, had stepped into the night seeking transformation. In the midst of this revelry, I found myself drawn to a quiet corner where a small group gathered around a vintage piano. There, amid soft laughter and whispered confidences, I allowed myself to simply be, to bask in the unguarded authenticity of the moment. As the gala reached its quiet climax, I stood on a balcony overlooking the city, a vast, shimmering tapestry of lights that seemed to echo the endless possibilities of the night. In that silent, expansive moment, I felt a deep, resonant peace. I realized that the secret encounters, the luxurious dinners, and the midnight escapes were not escapes from reality, they were the means by which I was learning to live it more fully. They were the keys to unlocking a hidden part of my soul that had long been yearning to be free, a part that was not ashamed of its desires, but celebrated for its vibrancy and resilience. I returned home that night with a heart both heavy and hopeful. The after-hours gala had given me a glimpse of a future where I could merge the best of both worlds, the stable, responsible self that I showed during the day and the bold, passionate self that came alive under the cover of darkness. I sat by my window, the city's hum a gentle lullaby, and wrote in my journal until the early hours of the morning. I chronicled every emotion, every whispered promise, every subtle shift in my perspective that had taken root during those transformative hours. Now, as I look back on this journey, I realize that the hidden app alerts that once startled me have become the catalyst for a profound metamorphosis. They unveiled a secret rendezvous at a high-end lounge, ignited a series of intimate encounters, and ultimately led me to confront the truth of who I am. I have learned that living fully means embracing every facet of our identity, both the light and the shadow, and that the courage to step into the unknown can transform even the most ordinary life into something extraordinarily beautiful. Today, as I continue to navigate the delicate balance between the seen and the hidden, I carry with me the lessons of those enchanted nights. I am no longer afraid of the whispers of my past, nor do I shy away from the promise of secret getaways and elegant dining under the stars. Instead, I have chosen to weave these experiences into the fabric of my everyday life, celebrating them as a testament to the resilient, daring spirit within me. I know that challenges remain, moments when doubt creeps in, when the weight of societal expectations tries to dim the fire I have rekindled. But I have also discovered that every time I encounter a hidden alert or feel the echo of a secret rendezvous, it is a reminder of my capacity to live authentically, to love passionately, and to embrace the full spectrum of who I truly am. And so, with each new day, I step forward into a future that honors both my quiet routines and my wild, midnight dreams. The journey is ongoing, a tapestry still being woven with threads of elegance, romance, and the unyielding desire to live boldly. I close this chapter with gratitude for the revelations that have reshaped my world, and with a promise to myself to never again hide in the shadows of fear, but to let the brilliance of my hidden self shine in the light of each new dawn.